Welcome to a new series of Sideways Sid Specials, where every week I'm going to be picking a legendary old car and show you what it's like. And we're going to be kicking it off with this, a Porsche 911 SC. Not really the most sought after Porsche 911, but bear with me because this is quite a special car. The Porsche 911 SC was produced in 1978, and the idea of it was to be the last 911 model, as the company wanted to make room for a new front-engine 928 as their new production car. The SC was built for the worldwide market, produced as a coupe or targa. The engine had huge reliability gains over the previous generation model thanks to fuel injection, and the overall block having the same underpinnings as the previous turbo model without the turbo. However, making way for the new planned front-engine car backfired, as 911 SCs were a big hit in the market, plus being hugely desirable and consistently outsold the more modern 928. So rather than dropping the SC, Porsche upgraded the 180 horsepower motor by 8 horses, following in 1981 increasing the compression, making over 204 horsepower, and then a cabrio came along, and so on so. History lesson over. What's this car actually like to drive? Well, on the move, as someone who doesn't really experience many old vehicles, so I've had experience with what, 996, 997, briefly in a 964, but I won't count that, and 991s, etc. This is very, very old school. I mean, the steering, I mean, you can just understand why motoring journalists always bang on about Phil, because the whim is just unbelievable. And I'm not saying that because, you know, it's a typical cliche. It really is wriggling with so much life. You know how light the front end is, especially when you come under load around the corner. Another thing I really like is the ride quality. This is, well, obviously the SC was the more comfortable, more usable businessman's express sports car. So on the road, even 40 years down the line, it actually rides really good. It's got really good compliancy. Obviously, it hasn't got the sophistication of some modern cars, but wow, this is actually really cool. And on the move, yes, the gearbox, the 5-speed gearbox, it does take a bit of time getting used to it, but once you get up on it and, you know, you find out which cog you actually get yourself into, it's okay. I mean, sometimes second and third is a little bit of a struggle, and a couple of times I have crunched it rather embarrassingly. But yeah, it's a really nice car. This being left-hand drive is a bit interesting, but hey ho. But one thing I love about this is how light it feels on its feet, and the car weighs 1,100 kilograms. You know, not a very heavy car, not compared to say a 991 or a 997. This is on par, the same sort of weight as, I don't know, a VW Lupo or a Polo or something like that. It's just unbelievable, and obviously that's because of safety regulations and so on and so forth. But what's it actually like once you start getting up on the move? Well, this flat 6 engine, once you get past about 3,000 RPM, she starts to sink to life, and you do get that really nice air-cooled chatter, which just sounds really tasty, really cool. And another thing cool about this is that you can tell it's proper rear engined. I mean, especially on the road. I mean, with the later cars, the modern day cars, I mean, I'm not trying to compare them back to back, but you don't really tell that it's rear engined, and that's because over the years Porsche have really tried to, you know, manage the rear weight, because obviously this is not really an easy car to drive. If you get into a sort of slide, you know, the worst thing you're going to do is jump on the brakes, and in this car you do have to work it. You definitely have to work it. But on the move, you know, on the motorway, it's a really relaxing thing. You can actually do loads and loads of miles in this car without fault. And being a Porsche, it's built like a tank. Everything from shutting the door and the fixtures, the materials, the quality of it is just really nice and superbly built, and it's aged well too. Another cliche, but yeah, there's something rather cool about this car. I don't know, it's just... yeah, I like this. I do like this a lot. You just have so much connection with the vehicle, and something that I haven't really experienced in many other cars. Most cars, especially even small hot hatches, you've got to get up on it, and that might mean being a little bit naughty, you know, trying to get the most out of it. But with this, I mean, I'm coming around this corner now at 40 mile an hour, and I just managing the weight and the nose, and it's just really nice. And yeah, you haven't got ABS, and it's just a really interesting experience. So I spent most of this morning and now this afternoon in the vehicle, and yeah, I've come to really lovely grips with it. I mean, it's very nostalgic, but it has a sense of humour and a sense of life to it. Everything comes together and meets you, if that makes sense. And this is the SC, and I reckon eventually these cars will eventually climb up. I mean, 4 or 5 years ago these things were worth about 15 to 10 grand, and now they're touching at the 40s, £45,000 mark. And this is a left-hand drive vehicle, so right-hand drive cars might be touching 50 grand, 60 grand. And yeah, I really do like it. I think they will become something of a collectible item, and if you are a proper Porsche guru and you're looking for a proper old air-cooled 911, well, have a look at one of these and actually check out Design 911 too while you're at it. Obviously these guys, they do restorations, they also do servicing as well too. They can pretty much build a 911 for you to your specific spec, or they can actually restore them. But this one though, this one is a very honest car. It's just truthful, and you can show that it's had use over time too. Downsides, well, seating position is all wrong. I'm sitting a bit too upright, and the steering obviously can't come out to reach you, but I'm just knocking it really. I suppose when it's cold, the gearbox is a real pain to use. But all in all, for a 40-year-old car, it doesn't get much better than this. So the purist 911 fans will not see this as the most desirable one. I see it as the saviour of the rear engine car, a car that shared and delivered its success to then be led on to future generations today. Without it, we wouldn't be seeing a 911 at all. So then there you have it, the Porsche 911 SC. A truly special car after all. Hope you folks have enjoyed it. Like, subscribe as always, keep it sideways folks, and take care.